Hi there, this is Debbie from Project 39, and I want to show you a couple of fall cards I made. I had just gotten this die set. It's stitched leaves, and it's got a couple of cute leaves. So there's those two. There's this big maple leaf, oak leaf, poplar, and then isn't that an oak leaf too? I don't know. Apparently I don't know my leaves. But so I use these. I had just gotten them from scrapbookpal.com. And in addition, I had these stitched simple wavy borders. And I had this cute one, and it says a little note. And I just love that because, it's nice to have some generic cards. So what I'm going to do is show you the cards. And then I'm going to do a real quick watercolor lesson. I'm going to show you how I made this using my watercolors. All right, so the light's a little funky just because, and there's going to be a lot of shine on these cards because I used metallic paper. But anyhow, so this was made using, I had a stamp set and I stamped that in copper, and I also had some copper foil paper. I used the stitch die, this one. For that, I actually put it on two sides, and then I made one out of the dark turquoise paper. I also had used a paper pad from Craft Smart. Let me grab it. It's Spiced Pumpkin. And so I used some of the plainer papers with these cards. I don't know if you can see, but that this pumpkin is raised. Here's the stitched leaf that I used. And I did have a pumpkin die, but you really could just cut out sort of a oblong with a stem. But I'm going to show you how I painted that. So there is one card. And turquoise pumpkins are cool to me, a little different. So that's one. And then this one, here's the little note. And that's done with a copper metallic paper. It may not look really copper on here, but it is. And this, of course, is raised. And that's that stitched leaf. Here is the smaller oak leaf. And those three are raised. It says happy birthday. And I just put a couple of dimensionals in the corner. And actually to correspond with that is this one. So I did paint this. This was just using regular cardstock. I use watercolor paper for some other ones I paint, but before, I was just experimenting, and they came out fine. So I have a rectangular die, and when I cut out the rectangles, I cut it out here and just tried to space it as evenly in case I was going to use it again, and obviously I did. So there are those. Now again, this is metallic. It may not show up perfectly, but those are using this die. And I used alcohol inks on gold metallic paper, gold foil paper. It's that real thin gold paper you get from Michael's. And then just to coordinate, I included some gold paper accents on that. This paper is dimensional. It's embossed. It came from another paper pad by Craft Smart that sort of went along with the spiced pumpkin. And then using that same die, this was used I had used watercolor paper, and I'm going to color a leaf real quick with you and show you how to do that. And of course, that's a die label set that I had. I love how this one came out. That is using that same maple leaf and just very simple gold embossed writing. I had this leaf set. I think it came from Tuesday Morning, and that's gold embossed, or not embossed, gold foiled acorns on the back. And you really could use any paper with this, just paper with a pattern and something with a more muted pattern, and this actually has a wood green pattern to it. So there's that. And then I used 3 of the leaves and cut out, so I'm using, I guess, the reverse of the die, and then inside I've got that paper. So, and a little note just up there, just a little bit different. So now I'm going to grab, so here is a pumpkin. Let me see if I can zoom in a little, or a lot. It's probably as much as I can do. And so I have a leaf and I have the paper. So what I'm going to do first is I have water. I'm going to take the leaf and stick it in the water, and the same with the pumpkin. I'm just going to submerge it in the water while I grab a piece of plastic to paint on. You could use a piece of glass if you wanted to. And then I've got these paints. They're by Pelican. You really could use any watercolor paints that you want. It's just what I happen to have. So that's what I'm going to use. All right, I'm going to do the pumpkin first, but I'm going to take the leaf out so it absorbs the water and dries a little bit. Come on, leaf. Okay, so the pumpkin I'm going to do similar to this. I'm going to use turquoise because that paper has beautiful turquoise pumpkins on it. You could do orange, you could do purple, you could do whatever you want. All right, I'm going to turn this to you. So there's the turquoise. I'm putting my brush in it, just a tip, because it's a big brush. If you have a smaller brush, that would work too. And I'm just going to work that a little bit. And then I'm going to take that outer part and then I'm going to blot it a little bit. I'm going to blot it a little bit with the paper towel. And then again, take a little color, work it in. I'm just going to try to keep it on that one edge and just put the edge of it where I think this die actually has, it's embossed, so you can see where the lines are on a pumpkin. But even if it's not, you can just make it up as you go, really. And then I'll clean out my brush, add a little bit of brown. Just a little bit. And really, that's all I'm going to do for the pumpkin. Let it dry, and it'll come out really cool. All right, so this leaf is a lot of fun. I mean, if you guys have fall in your area, you know that the sky's the limit. As long as you use oranges, yellows, maybe red, browns, greens. You could throw in purple. You could throw in that turquoise. I mean, really, it's your leaf. You can make it whatever color. I'm wetting it a little bit. I'm going to start with the lightest color. I'm going to start with some yellow. Just add a little bit of it. Add some more water so it'll spread. Go to an orange. And I'm going to, well, that's a lot of color. So I rinse my brush. And I'm just going to play with that. Let it blend a little bit. It was a lot of color, but you know what? Now that I see it, I feel like, oh, I need a little more. I personally would rather saturate this with color. When it dries, it's going to dry a little lighter. Add some yellow and let them blend in. And then just because I can, I'm going to go a little bit darker and a teeny bit of red. So again, you can do it however you want. It's your leaf. I'm sure somewhere in nature there's going to be a leaf similar to what you do. And even if not, who cares? It's your leaf. And I'm adding a touch of purple. Just because I love purple in fall. And then just so it doesn't look so monochromatic, I'm going to add a little more, not monochromatic, too rainbowish. I'll add a little bit of yellow, some bright yellow. Blend some of that orange. And obviously you get the idea. When you use those leaves, you can just do it however you want. So now let me tell you about the alcohol ink leaves. Let me grab that one card. Move this out of the way. All right, so this with the alcohol, two ways of doing it. You could die cut the shapes first and then alcohol ink it, or you could alcohol ink the whole paper and then die cut the leaves. It's a lot of fun to play with. Again, you know, I mean, purple. Is purple really a color in nature? Who cares? Who cares? It's how you want to do it. And then I wanted to show you one real quick thing. So I had this die cut of a pumpkin, but it did not have the lines embossed in it. So I just took the edge of a paintbrush or anything sharp, and while it was wet, I just went down like that, and then I painted it. So then that will help give you a little more pronunciation, I guess, or of the leaf or whatever it is you're doing. So there we go. There's some fall watercolors. I used dye first. Sort of opens up a whole new area if you have some watercolor paint, and you could just get that 99-cent paint you find at the dollar store, the watercolor, or play with your alcohol inks or tea and coffee dye. You know, I mean, have fun with it. All right, that's what I have for you today. Hope you enjoyed my quick little tutorial and my project share using the stitched leaf die from Fawn and a couple of cards I made. Thanks for watching.